The day Tara Bennett returned from the dead was sunny and clear in Nevada. No one expected anything unusual that morning. The staff at Earth Space Command worked their regular shifts monitoring the vast emptiness between planets. Kelly Wright sat at her command station reviewing reports from Mars Colony when the alert sounded. Unknown vessels approaching Earth orbit, said the automated system. Kelly looked up sharply. Impossible. We have no scheduled arrivals. On screen appeared 4 ships. 3 were unlike anything humans had built. Their hulls shimmered with an oily purple glow that seemed to bend light around them, but the 4th ship Kelly recognized immediately. Despite having only seen it in history books, the USS Horizon missing for 200 years, Kelly activated the emergency protocol Commander Wright to all stations. This is not a drill. Prepare for possible first contact. Inform the Secretary General immediately. Within minutes, the command center filled with personnel, all staring at the screen in disbelief. The communications officer raised her hand. Captain, we are receiving a transmission from the USS Horizon. Put it through. Kelly ordered, holding her breath. The screen flickered, then showed the face of a woman. Kelly had seen only in Academy textbooks Captain Tara Bennett, hero of the early space program, looking exactly as she did in her final mission photo from 2089. This is Captain Tara Bennett of the USS Horizon requesting permission to land, she said, her voice steady. I am accompanied by representatives of the Lumari people. They come in peace. For several seconds no one spoke. Then Kelly found her voice. Captain Bennett, your ship has been missing for over 200 years. There was a pause on the screen as Tara Bennett processed this information. I understand, she finally said. For us it has been approximately 5 years. There is much to explain. Request immediate landing clearance within hours. News of the impossible return spread worldwide. Security forces surrounded Nevada spaceport. Government officials arrived in private shuttles. Scientists prepared testing equipment. Crowds gathered behind barricades, all waiting to witness history. When the Horizon landed alongside one of the alien vessels, Kelly stood at the front of the welcoming committee. Her hands trembled slightly, though she kept her face composed. This moment would change human history forever. The airlock on the Horizon opened with a hiss of equalizing pressure. Tara Bennett stepped out looking exactly as she had in her final mission. She wore the navy blue uniform of Earth Space Command from 2 centuries ago. Her dark skin glowed with health. Her black hair tied back in a regulation bun. But her eyes, they held knowledge, beyond human experience. Behind her emerged a being that made the crowd gasp collectively. The alien stood nearly 7 feet tall with skin that shifted between blue and purple like oil on water. She had 4 arms, the upper pair longer than the lower. Her face bore features almost human, yet undeniably foreign. Large almond-shaped eyes, deep purple with no visible pupils. A small nose, 3 parallel lines where a human mouth would be. Silver hair flowed down her back, moving slightly as though underwater, even in Earth gravity. She wore a simple garment that resembled flowing water, somehow solid yet constantly in motion. Captain Bennett. Welcome home, Kelly said, extending her hand. You have been gone a long time. For Earth, perhaps, Tara replied, taking Kelly's hand. Her skin felt warm, human normal. For me it has been only 5 years. She gestured to the alien beside her. This is Zara, High Counselor of the Lumari people. The alien Zara raised her upper right hand in greeting. Her lower arms remained folded at her waist. When she spoke, her voice had strange harmonics underneath, like 3 voices speaking at once. People of Earth, we have watched your progress for many centuries, she said. We are pleased to finally meet you openly. The next 72 hours passed in a whirlwind of security procedures, medical examinations, and preliminary talks. Kelly rarely left Tara Bennett's side, partly from duty and partly from fascination. The woman from the past seemed both entirely human and somehow more in a private conference room deep within the facility. Tara finally shared her story. We encountered an anomaly during our mission, she explained. a spatial fold that science of our time could not have predicted. The ship was damaged. Most systems failed. We drifted for what felt like months. I put the crew in stasis, but the pods malfunctioned. One by one, they failed. Only mine remained. Operational Zara, who sat beside Tara, nodded her alien features, somehow expressing sadness. We found the horizon. Near the edge of our territory, Captain Bennett was the only survivor. We repaired her ship and restored her to health. But why return now? Kelly asked after 2 centuries. Tara and Zara exchanged a look that suggested volumes of unspoken communication. The galaxy is not empty, Tara said, and not all species are peaceful. The Lumari have protected Earth as long as possible, but another race approaches the Krell. They consume worlds, strip them of resources, and move on. They cannot be reasoned with or deterred by diplomacy. Zara leaned forward. Her 4 hands made graceful gestures as she spoke. The Krell will reach your solar system in approximately 50 Earth years. We could evacuate some of your people, your leaders, your scientists. But we believed you. Deserve a chance to defend yourselves. So you brought Captain Bennett back, Kelly said. Understanding dawning as proof, Zara replied, that we are genuine in our offer. To show that we have long watched over humanity, our cultures are different. Tara added, but we face a common threat. The Lumari will provide technology defense systems training, but Earth must unite first. One voice. One purpose. Kelly looked at the screens on the wall showing news broadcasts from around the world. Some celebrated the alien arrival. Others protested, demanding the visitors leave. Earth had never truly united. Not in all its history. And if we refuse, she asked. Tara looked at her former home planet visible through the station window. Earth glowing blue and green against the black of space. Then humanity dies, she said simply, or becomes refugees scattered among the stars. Our home lost forever. That night, Kelly sat alone in her quarters, reviewing everything she'd learned. The Lumari had technology beyond human imagination, faster than light travel energy sources that could power Earth for centuries, medical advancements that could end disease, aging, even death itself. But it came with a price. Unity humanity would need to set aside thousands of years of conflict and competition to work together, not just as nations but as a species. The following morning, Kelly met with the United Nations Security Council. Tara and Zara presented their case, showing evidence of the approaching Krell evidence that Earth scientists verified as genuine. The debate lasted hours. We have no reason to trust these aliens, said one representative. They could be inventing this threat. Tara stepped forward. I am human, she said. I was born in Chicago. I served Earth faithfully. I have returned to warn my people. Our time is limited, but it is enough if we act now. The council remained divided. Some argued for accepting Lumari help immediately. Others wanted more time, more proof. There were those who suggested accepting evacuation rather than defense, focusing on saving some rather than risking. All as the arguments continued, Kelly's communication device chimed. It was a message from the astronomical division. Urgent, excuse me, she said, stepping away from the table. The message contained images from Earth's most powerful telescope, images showing the remnants of a star system at the edge of detectable space. Where planets should have been, there was only debris. A dying star surrounded by the shattered remains of what had once been worlds attached. Was a simple message. Spectral analysis confirms. This destruction occurred within the last century. Kelly returned to the table and shared the findings. The room fell silent. We can provide more evidence, Zara said gently. We have records of 17 civilizations the Krell have destroyed in the last millennium. Some were more advanced than Earth, some less. All fell because they could not unite in time. The council adjourned without decision, but Kelly knew the scales had tipped. The threat was real. The choice was clear. That evening she found Tara alone watching the sunset from the facility's observation deck. It's still beautiful. Tara said, Earth. I feared I would never see it again. Kelly stood beside her. I have questions, she admitted. So many questions. Tara smiled. You wonder about me and Zara, about the Lumari, about whether to trust us, yes, Kelly said. Among other things, Tara turned to face her fully. The Lumari saved me. When they found me, I was nearly dead. The last human alive as far as I knew. They could have studied me, dissected me. Instead, they healed me, taught me. Their culture is built on cooperation, not conquest. They believe in potential, in growth. And you, Kelly asked, do you still consider yourself human after living among them? Tara looked back at the sunset. I am human, she said. But I have seen beyond humanity. I have walked on worlds where the sky is purple, where the plants sing, where gravity ebbs and flows like tides. I have learned that the universe is stranger and more wonderful than we ever imagined. And I have learned that humans are both less and more than we believe ourselves to be. Kelly waited for her to continue. Less because we are young, Tara continued, gazing at the sunset. More because we have potential that even we do not see. The Lumari have watched Earth for thousands of years. They saw our struggles, our wars, our cruelty. But they also saw our art, our music, our capacity for growth. They believe humanity might someday surpass even them if we survive. Kelly processed this information, trying to imagine a species so advanced yet humble enough to see potential in humans despite our flaws. Why did they wait so long to contact us, she asked. Tara smiled sadly. They have rules about interference. They observe, guide subtly, but allow species to develop naturally. The Krell threat changed everything. A soft chime interrupted them. Zara appeared in the doorway, her tall form silhouetted against the corridor lights. The council is ready to speak with us again, she said. Her voice still carried that strange, multi-layered quality that made Kelly's ears tingle. The three returned to the conference room where representatives from Earth's major nations waited on screens. The atmosphere felt different, tense, but with purpose. We have reached a preliminary decision, announced the Secretary General. We will accept Lumari assistance on a provisional basis. A joint task force will assess the technology and defense proposals while we continue diplomatic talks. Zara stepped forward gracefully, her forearms making fluid gestures that somehow enhanced her words. We are pleased by your wisdom, she said. We propose beginning with a knowledge exchange, our scientists and yours working together. First medical technology, then energy, then defensive systems. Something in the way she emphasized defensive made Kelly look closer at the alien. There was more here than simple generosity. Will we be able to visit your world? Kelly asked suddenly. Zara turned her purple eyes toward Kelly. The question seemed to surprise her. In time, she said, yes, that would be possible, though the journey is long even with our technology. Tara placed a hand on Kelly's arm. The Lumari homeworld is beautiful beyond description, she said. But our focus must be Earth now, its defense. The Secretary General cleared his throat. We have another condition, he said. We want regular people, not just officials, to meet with your representatives, to learn about your culture, to ensure transparency. Zara tilted her head slightly, a gesture Kelly had begun to recognize as consideration. This is acceptable, she said finally. Many of my people are curious about humans as, well, small cultural exchanges would build trust. The next weeks passed in a blur of activity. The Lumari vessel remained in orbit, but shuttles regularly brought small groups of their representatives to Earth. They looked similar to Zara, though with variations in height, coloring, and facial features. All had forearms, and that same fluid grace. Kelly found herself appointed as the primary liaison between Earth governments and the visitors. Her days filled with meetings, translations, and explaining human customs to beings who found the simplest things fascinating. Why do humans shake hands? Asked one Lumari scientist, examining Kelly's fingers with gentle curiosity. It began as a way to show we carried no weapons, Kelly explained. But now it's just tradition, a greeting. The alien seemed delighted by this, its communication and security protocol combined. How efficient. Meanwhile, Tara worked with both sides, bridging the gap between human and Lumari understanding. She moved between worlds with practiced. Sometimes Kelly forgot that Tara had been born in the 20th century. She seemed both ancient and timeless. 1 month after first contact, the Lumari presented their first gift, a medical device that could scan, diagnose, and treat most human diseases within minutes. Earth doctors watched in amazement as cancers vanished, infections cleared, and genetic conditions stabilized. "We offer this freely," Zara announced to the United Nations, "not as payment, but as proof of our commitment to Earth's well-being." The response worldwide was electric. Hope spread like wildfire. People who had been given death sentences by doctors suddenly had futures. Government approval ratings soared. Trust in the Lumari grew. Though not universally, Kelly visited a protest outside the Nevada facility where hundreds gathered with signs and chants. "They want to control us," shouted one man. "They come with gifts to make us weak." The crowd cheered in agreement. Kelly reported this to Tara later that evening. "It's natural," Tara said. "Some humans fear change, fear difference." The Lumari expected this. They have seen it before with other species. Do other species react the same way? Kelly asked. Tara laughed. Some much worse, some better. The Viridi tried to attack the first Lumari ship that approached their world. The Nortax immediately surrendered, believing the Lumari were gods. Humans are somewhere in between, cautious but adaptable. 3 months after first contact, Kelly received clearance to visit the Lumari vessel. In orbit, Tara would accompany her as translator and guide, though most Lumari spoke perfect English. The shuttle ride was brief. The massive Lumari ship grew in the viewport, its purple hull seeming to shift and flow like water, somehow solid, yet never quite the same. "It's beautiful," Kelly whispered. "Living metal," Tara explained. "It responds to environmental conditions, temperature, radiation pressure. It can self-repair and adapt." The shuttle docked with barely a sound. Kelly followed Tara through the airlock and stepped onto the Lumari vessel. The interior defied human architecture. The corridors curved organically. Lights glowed from no visible source. The air felt fresh, carrying scents Kelly couldn't identify. The gravity felt slightly lighter than Earth, making each step feel buoyant. Lumari moved through the halls, nodding respectfully as they passed. Some wore garments similar to Zara's, flowing water like cloth. Others were adorned with what appeared to be living plants or crystalline structures that caught the light. "This way," Tara said, leading Kelly deeper into the ship. They entered a vast chamber with a domed ceiling that somehow showed the stars outside as if the hull were transparent. Kelly gasped at the view. Zara waited for them in the center of the room, standing before what appeared to be a 3-dimensional hologram of Earth and its solar system commander. "Right," she greeted. "Welcome to the Sentinel. I trust your journey was comfortable." "Very much so," Kelly replied, still distracted by the room, its technology beyond anything she'd imagined. Zara gestured with her upper arms, and the hologram expanded, showing the solar system, then the neighboring stars, then the galaxy itself. A small section glowed red at the edge of one spiral arm, the Krell, Zara said. "They move slowly but with purpose. They have consumed 3 star systems in the last century. They will reach your neighborhood in approximately 50 years. Kelly studied the map. The scale was difficult to comprehend. "Are they more advanced than the Lumari?" she asked. Zara made a gesture that Tara had told her indicated uncertainty. "Not more advanced," she said, "different. Their technology focuses on consumption, extraction, efficiency. They build nothing that lasts. They take. They use, they discard." Kelly frowned. "That doesn't sound like a civilization that would develop space travel." Tara stepped closer. "They didn't develop it," she explained. "They stole it. From another species they destroyed. The Krell were once primitive, but they captured technology beyond their understanding. Now they spread like a virus, using tools they can't replicate, only operate." This seemed important to Kelly. If they can't create or repair their technology, then they have a weakness. Zara made a sound, like chiming bells, which Kelly had learned was Lumari laughter. "You think like a strategist," she said. "Yes, this is their weakness, but it is also what makes them dangerous. They must constantly consume new technology to maintain their advantage." The Hologram shifted, showing strange angular ships surrounding a blue-green planet not unlike Earth. The planet glowed, then dimmed, then went dark. This was the Alani homeworld, Zara said. 500 years ago. The Krell stripped it of all resources, including atmosphere. Then moved on. Kelly felt sick. How do we stop something like that? Zara repeated, the words sounding pleased. You begin to understand, Commander. We stop them together. No single species can stand against the Krell. But united, the hologram changed again, showing multiple fleets of diverse ships surrounding the red section of galaxy. The Krell ships were contained, herded away from inhabited worlds, the Galactic Alliance. Tara said 18 species working together to contain the Krell threat. The Lumari are founding members Earth could join. Kelly looked at the vast map, feeling very small, yet somehow part of something enormous. Is that why you're helping us? She asked. To recruit us, Zara. Tilted her head, another gesture Kelly had learned. Meant careful consideration. Partly, she admitted. But there is more. The Lumari believe in potential in growth. Few species adapt as quickly as humans. Few learn as rapidly. Few show your particular combination of creativity and determination. We believe humanity might someday be crucial to the Alliance. Tara smiled at Kelly. The Lumari play the long game, she said. They think in centuries, millennia. They see what humans might become, not just what we are. The tour continued through engineering sections, where Lumari technicians explained their propulsion systems through biological labs, where plants and creatures from a dozen worlds grew in carefully maintained environments, through cultural centers where art and music from across the galaxy was preserved and studied. Kelly felt overwhelmed by it all. The technology, the knowledge, the sheer scope of what existed beyond Earth. Yet one thing stood out to her throughout the ship. Lumari worked together seamlessly. Their society seemed built on cooperation rather than competition. Now you understand, Zara said softly. Why we came. Why we must stand together. Kelly nodded, unable to speak. The experience had been overwhelming, but clarifying. She had felt the Lumari perspective, their hopes and fears, their genuine desire to help Earth, not just for strategic reasons, but because they valued life in all forms. Back on Earth, Kelly delivered her report to the United Nations Security Council describing the Lumari ship, its technology, and what she'd learned about the Alliance. She chose her words carefully, balancing honesty with diplomacy. There is a military aspect to the Lumari, she acknowledged. They are not simply scientists and artists, but from everything I have seen, their defensive capabilities exist to protect, not to conquer. The council debated for hours. Some nations remained skeptical. Others were eager to embrace Lumari technology. The divide seemed insurmountable. Then Tara stood. Her presence still commanded attention. A living legend returned from the stars. Was born on Earth, she said. I love this world. But I have seen beyond it. I have walked on Lumari worlds, lived among their people for years. They could have kept me, studied me. Instead, they healed me, taught me, brought me home. They respect life. They value diversity. They protect the weak. This is not deception. This is who they are. One by one, the council members voted. In the end, the decision was clear. Earth would formally accept Lumari assistance and begin preparations to join the Galactic Alliance. The next year passed in a whirlwind of activity. Lumari technology transformed Earth medical science first. Diseases that had plagued humanity for millennia vanished. Cancer, heart disease, genetic disorders all became treatable. Even curable energy came. Next, clean, unlimited power that ended dependence on fossil fuels. With each gift came knowledge. The Lumari didn't simply provide technology, they taught humans to understand it, to improve upon it, to make it their own. Not all changes were technological. Kelly observed as nations began working together in unprecedented ways. Old enemies found common ground. Borders became less important than shared goals. Resources once hoarded were shared for the common good. Yet challenges remained. Some humans feared change. Religious leaders questioned what alien contact meant for their faiths. Corporations worried about losing power in the new order. Nationalist groups protested against what they called surrender to alien influence. Kelly, now promoted to director of Earth Alliance operations, faced these challenges daily, but she had helped Terra remain as ambassador between worlds, and Zara had become not just an ally but a friend. 2 years after first contact, Kelly sat in her office reviewing reports when an alert sounded on her screen. Unknown vessel detected Jupiter sector. She activated the command channel. "What do we have?" she demanded. "Long-range sensors detected something passing Jupiter. Moonbase confirmed. Not Lumari design," reported the officer. "On duty, it's small. Possibly a scout ship." Kelly felt her heart race. Could the Krell have arrived decades earlier than predicted? "Contact the Sentinel," she ordered. "Get me Captain Bennett and Counselor Zara." Within minutes, Terra and Zara appeared via hologram, their expressions grave. "We have detected it as well," Zara said. "It is not Krell. Their ships are larger, more angular. This is something else. Something unknown to us." Kelly frowned. If even the Lumari didn't recognize it. That was concerning. The small vessel changed course, heading directly toward Earth at incredible speed beyond anything human ships could achieve. It ignored all communication attempts. "Lunar Defense Station is tracking Commander Wright," the officer reported. "Should they attempt intercept?" "No," Kelly said. "If it's hostile, we don't want to provoke it. If it's peaceful, we don't want to threaten it. Maintain observation." "Zara, your thoughts?" The Lumari seemed troubled, her forearms making restless movements. "We should prepare for any possibility," she said. "I will bring the Sentinel into lower orbit as precaution." The unknown ship slowed as it approached Earth. Scans revealed it was roughly the size of a small shuttle with an unusual crystalline structure. Unlike the flowing organic designs of Lumari vessels, this craft appeared to be made of interlocking geometric shapes that somehow moved without changing form. It entered Earth's atmosphere on a trajectory toward the Nevada facility. Kelly ordered a security alert, but not an attack. The ARI craft landed on the designated pad with precise control. For several minutes, nothing happened. Then a section of the crystalline hull shifted, forming an opening. A single figure emerged. It was humanoid, but clearly not human. Standing around 6 feet. Tall, with pale, translucent skin that revealed shadowy organs beneath, the being had no visible eyes, yet seemed to observe everything. Its limbs were long, jointed in unusual places. It wore what appeared to be a suit of interlocking crystal plates, similar to its ship. Kelly approached with Terra and Zara. Flanking her, security teams maintained distance weapons ready, but not aimed. "Welcome to Earth," Kelly said, uncertain if the being could understand. The creature turned toward her, its featureless face somehow focusing on her. "You speak for this world?" it asked, the voice seeming to come from everywhere and nowhere at once. "I am Director Kelly Wright of Earth Alliance Operations." She confirmed. "I speak with authority of the United Earth Council." Being made a gesture with its long fingers that somehow reminded Kelly of Zara. "I am Observer Kier of the Crystalline Concord." It said, "We have watched. We have waited. Now we must speak." Zara stepped forward, her usual grace replaced with tension. "You are far from your territory, Observer," she said. "The Concord signed treaties with the Alliance establishing boundaries." The being Kier turned toward Zara. "Your people bring weapons to this sector," it said. "The treaties are strained. Earth has not yet chosen its path." Kelly looked between them. "What is happening?" she demanded. Tara moved closer to Kelly, her voice low. "The Crystalline Concord is another advanced species," she explained. "They maintain neutrality in the conflict with the Krell. They observe, but rarely interfere." "So why are they here now?" Kelly asked. The Observer turned back to her. "The Krell advance faster than predicted," it said. "They have acquired new technology. Their scouts approach this system already. The time frame has changed." Kelly felt cold dread. "What time frame?" 50 years has become 5, Kier said simply. The room erupted in chaos. Security teams raised weapons, communications officers relayed urgent messages, technicians consulted readings. Kelly maintained her composure. "How certain are you?" she asked the Observer. "The Concord does not deal in uncertainty," it replied. "We know they come, they hunger. This world has resources they desire." Zara moved forward, all four arms now in motion. "This changes everything," she said to Kelly. "The defense systems we planned, the technology transfers, the training. All must be accelerated." The observer watched this exchange. "You trust the Lumari?" it said to Kelly. Not a question. A statement. "Yes," she replied without hesitation. "They have proven themselves." Allies Kier made another gesture, this one somehow conveying doubt. "The Lumari have their own interest, their own plans. They do not share all knowledge." Zara stepped closer to the crystalline being. "Our interests align with Earth's survival," she said. Firmly, "We have been transparent in our intentions." The observer remained still, its featureless face revealing nothing. "Some truths remain unspoken," it said. "Some purposes." Hidden Kelly felt tension rising between the two alien species. "What are you suggesting?" she asked Kerr. The being turned to her. "The Concord offers alternative. We can help evacuate key populations, preserve your species, culture knowledge on our worlds." Tara frowned. "That sounds like abandoning Earth." "It is pragmatism," the observer said. "The Krell cannot be defeated by one world. Even with Lumari assistance, the Alliance has lost worlds before it will lose." More Kelly shook her head. "We won't abandon Earth. The choice may not be yours." Kier said, "The Krell do not negotiate. They do not show mercy. They take, they consume. They leave nothing." Zara moved to Kelly's side, her presence somehow reassuring. "Earth is not alone," she said. "The Alliance will defend this system. We have done so before." The observer made a sound like crystal chimes. "The Alliance stretched thin," it said. "Many fronts, many threats. The Lumari cannot promise victory. Only struggle." Tara stepped forward, her expression fierce. "Humans understand struggle," she said. "We have faced extinction before, from our own actions, from natural disasters. We have always survived. We will not surrender our home without fighting." Kier seemed to study Tara. "Curious," it said. "You were taken from this world, changed by Lumari influence, yet you retain human determination. Human defiance. I was never changed." Tara replied, "I was enlightened." "There is a difference." The observer turned back to Kelly. "We offer choice," he said. "Resistance with Lumari, likely ending in destruction or evacuation. With Concord, preservation of your kind." Kelly looked at Tara, at Zara, at the gathered humans in the room. She thought of Earth, its history, its beauty, its flaws. "We choose to fight," she said. The crystalline being stood motionless for several moments. "The Concord will observe it," finally said. "Should you survive, we will speak again. Should you fall, we will remember." Without another word, Kier returned to its ship. The crystal vessel rose into the sky and vanished. Kelly turned to Zara. "Is it true?" she asked. "Are the Krell really coming? So soon?" Zara made a gesture of confirmation. "Our long-range sensors detected unusual activity," she admitted. "We were investigating, but the Concord has better observation technology. They see farther, clearer." Kelly felt the weight of her decision. If she was wrong, if Earth could not be defended, Tara placed a hand on her shoulder. "You made the right choice," she said. "The only choice humans would accept." "Remarkable," Zara said as they watched news reports from around the world. No panic, no collapse of order. Instead, determination. Tara smiled knowingly. "I told you," she said. "Humans are at their best when challenged. When the threat is clear, the goal obvious. We can accomplish incredible things." Kelly nodded, thinking of Earth's history. The response reminded her of stories she'd read about world wars, natural disasters, global crises, humanity coming together against common threats. The next months passed in a blur of activity. The Lumari accelerated technology transfers, focusing on defensive systems, energy weapons, and space capabilities. Earth scientists worked alongside alien engineers, adapting, modifying, sometimes improving upon the designs. Kelly split her time between coordinating global defense efforts and working with the Alliance representatives who began arriving as news of the Krell approach spread. 3 more Lumari vessels joined the Sentinel in Earth orbit. each bringing specialists, equipment and knowledge. 4 months after the crystalline observer's warning, the first Alliance fleet arrived. 10 ships of various designs crewed by beings from 8 different species. Humans watched in awe as these vessels took position in the outer solar system, creating a defensive perimeter. Tara introduced Kelly to the fleet commanders, each alien more strange and wonderful than the last. The 4-armed feline Moirith, the crystalline Tholans related but distinct from the Concord, the gaseous Vox who inhabited specialized containment suits, the silicon-based Druvians who communicated through light patterns. Each species had its own reason for joining the Alliance. Each had faced the Krell or similar threats. Each recognized that survival depended on cooperation. Most fascinating to Kelly were the various approaches to warfare. The Moirith favored speed and stealth, their ships nearly invisible until they struck. The Tholans used crystalline technology that could absorb and redirect energy. The Vox specialized in disruption tactics, disabling enemy systems with precise electromagnetic pulses. We need to learn from all of them, Kelly realized. Not just copy their technology, but understand their strategies, their thinking. Their different evolutionary paths had led to different approaches to problem solving. She established joint training programs, mixing human military personnel with Alliance counterparts, not just teaching humans to use alien technology, but learning to work together, combining different strengths and perspectives. 6 months into preparations, Kelly received unexpected news. The Lunar Observatory had detected an object at the edge of the solar system. Small, fast approaching rapidly. It was too small to be a Krell warship, too fast to be natural, too deliberate to be random. "We believe it is a probe," said the Alliance commander, a Tholian whose crystalline body refracted light in hypnotic patterns. The Krell send them ahead to assess targets map. Defenses identify resources. Kelly called an emergency meeting with Earth Defense Forces and Alliance representatives. "We have 2 options," she said. "Allow it to observe us, revealing our full capabilities and preparations, or intercept and destroy it, preventing reconnaissance but potentially alerting the Krell that we know they are coming." The debate was brief. For once, human and alien commanders agreed. "Let it come," Zara said. "Let it see our strength, our unity. Let the Krell know this system is defended." So they waited, tracking the probe as it entered the solar system, passed the outer planets, and approached Earth. The Alliance fleet remained visible deliberately, so the orbital defense platforms powered up their weapon systems but did not fire. Lumari vessels moved into formation with human ships in a display of unity and force. The probe spent 2 days scanning Earth and its defenses, then departed, accelerating back toward the stars. "They know we are waiting now," Tara said. "They know this will not be easy." Kelly nodded. "It might buy us time," she said, "or it might hasten their attack. Either way, we continue preparing." As the second year of preparations passed, Earth transformed. Massive defense platforms orbited the planet, armed with Lumari-designed weapons and shielded with technology beyond what humans could have developed alone. Lunar Base expanded, becoming a secondary command center and shipyard. New vessels launched daily. Small fighters designed by humans, powered by Lumari technology. But the most significant changes occurred on Earth itself. Nations truly united, forming a single government focused on defense and survival. Resources once hoarded were shared. Clean energy eliminated pollution. Diseases vanished. As Lumari medical technology spread, cultural differences remained celebrated. Even but no longer divided, Kelly marveled at the transformation. When faced with extinction, humans had chosen unity, cooperation, adaptation, the very traits the Lumari had, seen as our potential. 3 years into preparations, the first Krell scout ships appeared at the edge of the solar system. The Alliance fleet engaged them in brief, fierce battles. The scouts were destroyed, but not without cost. 2 Alliance vessels, damaged, 1 destroyed. "The Krell now know our capabilities," Zara informed Kelly. "Their main fleet will adjust their weapons, their tactics." Kelly nodded grimly, looking at the holographic display of the solar system. "You said they adapt quickly?" she observed. "How much can they change based on the scout encounters?" Zara made a forearm gesture indicating moderate concern. "They cannot develop new technology," she said, but they can modify their approach, change formations, target perceived weaknesses. Kelly studied the battle data. The scouts had targeted Alliance communication systems first, then propulsion. They fought methodically, efficiently, without the creativity or unpredictability humans might have shown. But with brutal effectiveness, we need something they won't expect, she said. Something beyond Alliance or Lumari tactics. Tara, who had been listening quietly, stepped forward. Humans, she said simply. Kelly looked at her questioningly. The Krell have faced the Alliance before, Tara explained. They know Lumari tactics, Tholian defenses, Mirith stealth, but they have never encountered humans. Our history is filled with unconventional warfare, guerrilla tactics, deception, misdirection. Zara tilted her head, considering the Alliance focuses on coordinated defense, systematic responses, she acknowledged. This has advantages but creates predictability. Kelly felt excitement building. Humans are anything but predictable, she said. We need to introduce chaos into the equation. Controlled chaos, called together a special task force. Human military strategists, not just from traditional powers but from nations with histories of asymmetric warfare. Nations that had faced stronger enemies and survived through cunning rather than strength. Show me your most unconventional tactics, she told them. Forget everything you know about traditional space combat. Think differently. Think human. The ideas flowed. Some practical, some outlandish, some brilliant, some combining Earth technology with Lumari capabilities in ways neither would have considered alone. 4 years after the warning, the main Krell fleet was detected approaching. The armada was massive. 50 capital ships surrounded by hundreds of smaller vessels, all angular, brutal, efficient. In design, no aesthetics, no wasted elements. Pure function. Kelly stood on the bridge of Earth's flagship, the Defender, watching the holographic display. Her heart raced, but her mind was clear. This was what all the preparation had led to. The Krell sent a message, a single transmission in multiple languages, including English: surrender your resources, your technology, your world, or be destroyed. Resistance is inefficient. Kelly looked at Tara, at Zara, at the human and alien crew members surrounding her. She thought of Earth, of humanity, of all they had accomplished, all they might yet become. She opened the communication channel. This is Director Kelly Wright of Earth Alliance. She said, we have a response to your demand. She nodded to the communications officer who transmitted the prepared message. It contained no words, just a single image, an ancient Earth symbol, a raised middle finger. The Krell fleet accelerated. The battle for Earth began. Alliance vessels engaged the Krell at the edge of the system. Following carefully planned strategies, centuries in development, Lumari ships with their organic technology flowed through space, dodging enemy fire. Tholian vessels absorbed energy weapons, redirecting them back at the Krell. Mirith stealth ships appeared and disappeared, striking from unexpected angles. But it was the human tactics that caught the Krell unprepared. Small fighter squadrons attacked, then retreated, leading Krell ships into carefully planned ambushes. Automated drones appeared, to be command vessels drawing fire while actual command centers remained hidden. Lunar Base fired massive railguns, technology as old as the 20th century, scaled up with Lumari power sources, launching physical projectiles that Krell energy. Shields were not designed to stop. The Krell adjusted their tactics, targeting Earth directly, bypassing the Alliance fleet. But they found another surprise. Waiting orbital platforms that appeared defensive revealed themselves as offensive weapons. Platforms, heavy bombers launched from hidden bases on Mars, a colony the Krell had dismissed as insignificant. For 6 days, the battle raged across the solar system. Losses mounted on both sides. Alliance vessels destroyed. Krell ships crippled. Earth itself took damage as some enemy ships broke through coastal cities, evacuated as tidal weapons targeted oceans. Defense centers moved underground as orbital strikes destroyed surface structures. On the 7th day, Kelly received the news she'd been dreading. The Krell had broken through the inner defenses. A massive ship unlike any seen before approached Earth. Scans indicated it carried planet-killing weapons, a final solution if conventional attacks failed. Zara approached Kelly, her movements showing urgency. The transport system was damaged during our arrival, she said. We cannot beam out. Kelly looked around the alien command center searching for options. The Krell leaders remained incapacitated, but for how long she couldn't be sure. Tara joined them, her uniform torn, her face streaked with something that might have been Krell blood. There must be escape pods, she said. Even Krell would have emergency systems. Kelly nodded. Ships this size always had contingencies. No matter how confident the Krell might be, scan for anything that looks like a launch bay, she ordered the remaining team members. One of the Alliance specialists, a Murith with feline features and enhanced sensory abilities, pointed toward a section of the ship. I detect atmosphere venting, she said. That suggests access to space. The team moved carefully through the massive vessel, avoiding patrols of Krell drones that still functioned, despite the command disruption. The ship layout defied human logic, with pathways that seemed to change direction randomly, gravity that shifted without warning, systems that appeared biological, one moment, mechanical the next. They reached a chamber filled with smaller vessels, each angular, like the Krell ships but sized for perhaps 10 occupants. Escape craft, Kelly confirmed. The Murith specialist examined the nearest pod. The controls are similar to other Krell technology. She said, I can operate this. A sound echoed through the ship, a deep resonant vibration that Kelly felt in her bones. The command systems are resetting, Zara warned. We have minutes, perhaps less. Kelly made a quick decision. Get everyone aboard, she ordered. 2 pods to spread our chances. The team split, Tara leading. One group, Kelly and Zara the other. They entered the alien craft, finding interfaces unlike anything human. But the Murith and Zara quickly decoded the essential functions. The vibrations increased. The massive ship around them, humming back to life. Kelly felt a sense of urgency bordering on panic. Launch now, she ordered. The escape pods disengaged from the planet killer, shooting away from the massive vessel. But escape would not be so simple. Krell defense systems reactivated, targeting the fleeing. Pods evasive maneuvers, the Murith pilot called her, paws dancing across alien controls. The pod lurched, changing direction, narrowly avoiding energy beams. Kelly watched through a viewing port as the second pod, the one carrying Tara, took a glancing hit. Its propulsion damaged. It spun away, still moving but no longer under control. We need to help them, she said. Zara touched her arm gently, making the Lumari gesture for regret. We cannot, she said. Not without sacrificing ourselves. The Krell will target any pod that changes course to aid another. Kelly felt torn between duty to her friend and responsibility to her team, to Earth. The decision was impossible. Then the universe changed. A new ship appeared between the pods and the planet killer, massive, gleaming, crystalline. The design unmistakable, the crystalline Concorde. Zara whispered, her 4 arms making a gesture Kelly had never seen before. The crystalline vessel fired not at the pods, but at the Krell ship. The energy beams, unlike anything Kelly had seen before, bypassed shields, struck with precision. The planet killer listed its weapon systems failing. The observer vessel extended crystalline structures that enveloped both escape pods, pulling them toward docking bays. Within minutes, Kelly found herself aboard the Concorde ship, reunited with Tara, and the second team observer. Kier met them in a chamber that adjusted its shape as they entered, becoming more comfortable for the various species. You chose to fight, the being said, its featureless face somehow conveying curiosity. We did, Kelly replied, still uncertain why the Concorde had intervened. You fought well, Kier said, not as expected. Not as the Krell expected. Kelly looked at Tara, at Zara, seeking understanding. The Concorde had offered evacuation, had seemed to consider resistance futile, yet here they were, rescued by the very beings who had predicted their failure. The Concorde observes, Kier explained. We watch, we learn, we rarely intervene. But your strategy, your sacrifice. It was unexpected. We wished to observe more, Kelly almost laughed. The alien had saved them out of scientific curiosity. The crystalline vessel returned them to Earth, where the battle still raged, though the tide had turned. With the planet killer disabled, the Krell fleet lost coordination. The Alliance forces pressed their advantage. Human vessels continued their unpredictable attacks, confusing Krell tactical systems. 3 days later, the remaining Krell ships retreated, jumping to faster than light. Travel leaving the solar system, Earth had survived damaged but unbroken. In the aftermath as reconstruction began, Kelly met with Zara and Tara in the command center, now relocated to a facility deep within the Rocky Mountains. They watched holographic displays showing Alliance ships departing, returning to their homeworlds, or pursuing the retreating Krell. The Krell will return, Zara said. They always do, but not soon. They must regroup, reassess their losses. Here we're significant. Kelly nodded. We will. Be ready next time, she said. Better prepared. More unified. Tara smiled. Earth is different now, she observed. Changed. Not just by technology, but by perspective. Humans have seen beyond their world, beyond their differences. They have fought alongside beings from across the galaxy and found common purpose. Kelly thought about this. The past 5 years had transformed humanity. Wars between nations seemed pointless now. Resources once fought over were shared. Science once restricted was open, old. Prejudices faded as humans recognized they were one species among many in a vast universe. They sat in comfortable silence watching the stars on the display, Earth visible as a blue-green jewel among them. Zara finally spoke. What happens next? She asked, her question directed not to Kelly or Tara but to both. As if genuinely uncertain, Kelly considered this. For 200 years, humanity had looked to the stars wondering if we were alone. Then Tara returned with Zara, bringing knowledge of a wider universe. For 5 years, Earth had prepared for war, focusing on survival. Now with that threat temporarily abated, what path would humanity choose? I think, Kelly said slowly, we build something new. Not just defenses, not just technology, but understanding. The Krell consume, take, destroy. But humans create, the Lumari preserve, protect, guide, the Alliance defends. But perhaps Earth can do something more. Tara looked interested. What do you mean? Kelly gestured to the display showing Earth now surrounded by a combination of human and alien technology. Defenses, yes, but also research stations, communication arrays, cultural exchange centers. Humans adapt quickly, Zara had said once. We learn, we grow, we become a bridge. Kelly decided, between worlds, between species. Between the old and the new Earth sits at a crossroads now. We have Lumari knowledge, Alliance protection, Concord observation, but we remain human. We bring our own perspective. Zara made a gesture of approval. The Lumari believe in potential, she said. Humans have shown yours. The conversation was interrupted by an alert. A message from the crystalline Concord ship still orbiting Earth observer. Kier requested permission to visit. Not merely as observer now, but as envoy. The Concord wished to establish formal relations with Earth. The first time they had done so with any world not already part of the Alliance. Things are changing, Tara said. The balance of power. The old arrangements. The Concord has always remained neutral. Distant Kelly smiled. Perhaps they observed something worth engaging with, she suggested. 1 week later, representatives from across the galaxy gathered in a newly constructed chamber designed to accommodate all species Earth, hosting its first interstellar diplomatic conference. Kelly watched from a balcony as beings of incredible diversity communicated shared perspectives. Found common ground, Tara joined her, looking down at the gathering. This is what I hoped for, she said. Why I agreed to return. Not just to warn Earth, but to connect it. To help humanity find its place among the stars. Kelly nodded, understanding now why the Lumari had sent Tara back. Not just as messenger, but as bridge between human and alien. Between past and future. Zara approached her movements, conveying what Kelly had learned to recognize as excitement. The Alliance Council has voted, she said. Earth is granted full membership. Not provisional, not junior. Full voice, full rights. They recognize what you have accomplished, what you offer. Kelly felt pride not just in the recognition but in what it represented. Humanity accepted as equals by species thousands of years more advanced. Not just for technology or resources, but for perspective. for the unique approach humans brought to challenges. Later, that evening, Kelly stood on the observation deck of the facility looking up at the stars now filled with new meaning, new possibilities. She thought of how far humanity had come in 5 short years, from isolated facing extinction to connected with a galaxy of diverse beings united not just globally but beyond. Terra joined her, carrying something, a small crystalline object that glowed with inner light, a gift, she said, from Zara, from the Lumari Council. They call it a memory stone. It contains history's knowledge art from 100 worlds. They believe Earth should have this, that humans will use it wisely. Kelly accepted the stone, feeling its warm pulse against her palm like a heartbeat. "This is just the beginning, isn't it?" she asked. Terra smiled, looking up at the stars. "The Lumari have a saying," she replied. "The universe unfolds in its own time. We merely help it along." Kelly considered this, thinking of all that had happened, all that might yet come. The Krell would return someday. The challenge was not over, but humanity would face it differently now. Not alone, not unprepared, not unchanged.